Hello everybody, my name is KingStix, and the new rank system for 2019 Season 9 League of Legends is about to drop in 4 days. And note, this new system with the new ranking is only going to be for NA and Korea initially, while they still test it out a bit to make sure it runs smoothly. So if you're not on NA or Korea, you don't really have to worry about this new aspect. However, most likely it will be coming to your region after they hammer out any kinks and make it ideal. First thing I want to talk about is some history and the huge importance that this rank change is going to make. To do that, let's take a look back at what ranked used to be. Before, there used to be no position select. Whenever you queued up for a ranked game in League of Legends, you would have to type which role you wanted, but more often than not, it would just turn into ranked pick order. So whoever was above you on your team got to choose what role they wanted over you. This could lead to some pretty nasty things, like players intentionally spiting each other because one's a top lane main and the other one just wanted to play top even though it's ranked, and then he'll spite him, he'll troll in the match, or it could lead to other things like 5 people who main the same thing on the same team. So they added the position select. There are some issues with position select though. The main one is it increased queue times by 4 times. To fix this, they added autofill. Autofill will on occasion put you on a role that you did not select, typically support or top lane, even though you didn't put it as one of your 2 roles that you selected to begin with. And that's what this rank change is made to solve, is this autofill issue. And if you don't understand the autofill issue, if you have more people autofilled than the enemy team, you are more likely than not going to lose, and it won't be very balanced. The worst players decide the outcome in the majority of games with the autofill system, because you're getting people who don't even main that role, and then if they go up against someone who does, they're just going to feed. Not competitive. That's the issue with autofill right now in our current system. To fight this autofill problem, that's what this new rank system is. That's going to be tested in 4 days when ranked for League of Legends Season 9 officially starts for NA and Korea. To fight it, Riot is adding position ranks, a rank for each position you play. Note that the positions are tethered. If you're a Diamond 5 mid laner, you're not going to be a Silver 5 jungler. The lowest rank role shouldn't be any lower than 4 divisions below your highest role, or at least that's what I'm saying. Now, what League of Legends has indicated is that it won't be any lower than a tier and a half. However, I think what you're going to find is once they smooth out the system perfectly, is it won't be any lower than 4 divisions or a tier plus 1 division total, since 4 divisions technically is a tier. Now, with all that being said, let's jump into the video and I'll try to break it down for you guys.
It's almost time to kick off the season, and we're back. I'm Ed, the lead for the Ranked team.
And I'm still Primus, the lead designer for Ranked.
It's been a while since our dev blog on position ranks, so today we're going to discuss why it's important, what it is, and how we're rolling it out. That's a lot to cover, so let's get into it. Since the introduction of position select, you're getting your main more often. Great, right? When you play another position though, and especially when you get auto-filled, you might not be as skilled, and as a result, the game could just feel less winnable.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Most people in League of Legends only play a couple of champions, and they might play 3 roles max. Most people only play 1 role to 2 roles, and that's the issue with the autofill. Is even if you're a Diamond 5 mid laner, odds are you're not a Diamond 5 jungler or a Diamond 5 AD carry. You'd be somewhere around in the plat range.
We can't get rid of autofill without tripling, or in some cases even quadrupling queue times for everyone. So we looked into how we could make your matches more fair instead.
With position ranks, you get a matchmaking rating and a rank for each position you play. This gives us a more accurate measure of your skill in every position.
This is where a lot of people get really uncomfortable. They say, oh, if you add a rank to every single role, won't I have to play a lot more games? And the answer is no. There's only going to be 8 placement games, and you'll get your main rank off of that, and then your other ranks will climb up as well through Splash, which they'll discuss here in a moment. So you're not really going to have to play any more games than you were initially. This system is just purely to balance out autofilled players so they don't ruin the games for everybody. And these are some of the kinks that they're going to have to work out. As you can see here, the person queued up his jungle. Looks like he won the game, so he got plus 15 LP. On top lane, he got 11. On mid, he got 3. And then on these 2 roles, for some reason, he didn't get any. I'm not sure why that is. The reason why he got more on top lane is because his top lane rank was significantly lower than his jungle. So let's say he's jungle gold 4. His top lane rank was mid silver, And his mid lane rank was high silver, which is why you see him getting more points in the top lane, since it tethered harder, since it had more slack. If he had lost this game as jungle, what you would have seen is the majority of LP loss in jungle. You would have seen a very, very minor loss here and an even smaller loss here since it's farther away. And they actually used a screenshot in the background of these old ass items that don't even exist anymore, like this old Rage Blade, and it looks like they even have the banner command, which is no longer in the game. And then they have these tier 3 boot upgrades. I just thought this was really lazy for the Riot development team. When they're making videos like this, to avoid unnecessary confusion, they should really use accurate screenshots. I know it seems like a small thing, but they really should be putting out more accurate information, since, I mean, if they're not going to do it, then who should? You know what I mean?
Because if you're climbing in one position, some of that skill is transferable to your others.
That is so true. Even if you're a one trick, let's say you're an Udyr jungle one trick and you get to gold 5. In terms of skill level, you're not going to be a bronze 5 support or a bronze 5 top laner if you're a gold 5 Udyr player. That's just not going to happen. As you play the game, even if you're only playing one champion in one role, you're learning information as you play the game on how other roles operate, how to play them properly, and how you can interact with other roles. For those of you who's saying, well, the splash system, why should I be ranking up in my other roles? Because that's just the facts. If you are ranking up, you're getting more game knowledge, which allows you to play other roles. Like I said, guys, with the tethering between all your ranks, you're not going to be a D5 mid laner and a silver 5 support. It's just not how it's going to be. At the lowest, you'll be like a plat 5 support and a D5 mid laner. The tether will help to keep things in check. The point of this system is to help solve the autofill epidemic.
With different ratings for each position, you won't be punished if you're bored of, say, one tricking Malzahar mid and decide to focus on jungle for a while. Similarly, someone getting autofilled into your game shouldn't make it feel unwinnable either.
Exactly.
And since your ranks are split out by position, you'll know exactly how good you are at your main. We're excited about position ranks, but we want to be super diligent, prepared, and most importantly, open to feedback on such a big change. Last summer, we started testing positional matchmaking in normal draft to make sure it was ready for prime time, and the results so far have been promising. Queue times and how often you get your main haven't changed, but win rates when you're playing off positions have improved substantially.
That is exactly the solution that we need for autofill. You're still getting your roles that you're selecting just as much as if they weren't implementing this system. They implemented it in normals first, and that's exactly what I'm talking to you guys about. Whenever I play ranked, I look at the OPGG. I know exactly who's autofilled on which team, and after I see which team has how many number of autofills, if I could bet money on which team was going to win just based off of autofills, I would be a very wealthy person right now.
In short, it's an across-the-board upgrade to matchmaking. For position ranks, we need your hands-on feedback to help us make sure ranked still has that competitive feel you expect, which is why we need to do the position ranks preview before rolling it out more broadly.
And whenever he says preview, he's referring to how they put it in the normal draft earlier in the season and how they are only going to be putting this on North America and Korea. Something to keep in mind is whenever they're saying testing it out, the main thing is trying to figure out how hard the tether should be. And like I said, they're going to find the tether shouldn't be any more than one division very max. There are no more division 5s anymore. It only goes to division 4 because of the increased ranks with Iron and Grandmaster. So if you are a D4 mid laner, then at the very lowest on any other rank, you'll be around Platinum 4. And I think that's what they're going to find with the tethers. And in terms of splash LP per win and loss, that's another thing they're going to have to hammer out. But this is all fairly simple stuff that they'll be able to hammer out in a month or two. The system as a whole will be a lot more enjoyable for 90% of the player population.
Broadly.
At season start, Korea and North America will preview position ranks. During the first split, we'll be closely monitoring it. We'll be gathering and addressing feedback and tuning the systems, like how much splashing you get when you win or lose. All of the rest of the changes to placements, tiers, splits, rewards, all that stuff's going to go everywhere at the start of season. We chose to preview position ranks in North America and Korea because they're both globally competitive regions. Including North America also gives us hands-on experience and lets us get our feedback more directly from you.
I don't really understand that because EU West is a much larger region than NA. They have roughly twice the player population NA has. Plus, EU West is a lot more diverse in terms of its players. They have a lot more countries involved in EU West. I don't know why they would just choose NA over EU West like that, or why they wouldn't just include EU West, but then they decided to include Korea. I feel like they didn't do a very good job of explaining that. They just said Korea and NA are both global regions. It's like, yeah, so is EU West. They got second in Worlds last year. That doesn't really make much sense.
In all regions, we're tracking both position ranks and current ranks. That way, if there are any issues, technical or otherwise, we'll be ready to switch everyone back as soon as possible without you losing any progress.
Worst case scenario for all the pessimists out here, this system crash and burns and is a colossal failure, and it won't actually affect the players at all in terms of rank. Let's say you're a true rank with our current system right now, you're gold 5, and in the new system you're gold 5 mid laner, and then you're silver and everything else. If this system crash and burns, then you'll just be gold 5. And you won't really lose anything out of it. They're preparing for the worst, but also trying to do the best, which I think is pretty cool that they have that fail-safe in line.
We'll update you every month on how things are going and what changes we're making based on feedback, which could range from system tuning to new features designed to address abuse cases and preserve competitive integrity. At the end of the first split, we'll unify ranked and detail what the worldwide experience will be going forward. We're confident position ranks will be a meaningful upgrade for matchmaking and the rank system as a whole, but let me be real with you. We're open to rolling it back if things just don't work out. Having said that, we're excited for you to try it, and we're hoping it will be a hit, so make sure to keep giving us your feedback. We've seen a ton of discussion about position ranks over the last year, so let's switch gears and talk about the things we've seen the most questions about. Position ranks seem super abusable. What about position swapping when getting an off roll, for example? Say a Diamond 1 top laner got autofill jungle in a Plat 3 game and switches to top lane with a duo or teammate.
There's this thing that we want to make sure that we allow, which is strategically swapping if it makes sense. That's what players do now. We don't really want to suppress that in any way. And so what we're going to do is we're going to track each player, how often that they're switching positions. And if you're someone who ends up switching more often than we think is reasonable, we're going to start to tighten the links between your positions for the purposes of matchmaking, so that when we put you into a match, it's going to be a match that we think is most competitive with your highest position.
And that's the reason why I say the tether is going to be fairly tight between all your different roles. Most likely only one tier or a couple divisions because of this reason of trading roles. The reason why you can't have a loose tether is because of role trading. Let's say you're a gold 5 mid laner and you are a silver 5 top laner. If you get autofilled top, so you're in there with a bunch of silver players or a bunch of silver roles, you could say, yo, give me top, I'll carry this, boys. And if someone gives it to you, odds are you're going to hard stomp, right? So that's why I feel like the tether is going to be fairly tight. Also, I'm very interested to see on how effective their tools for recognizing it and tightening the tether on specific people are going to be, because they just said that if they find individuals trading roles more often than not or doing it at a rate that is very unhealthy, that the tether on their roles is going to get tied even tighter. So if you're one of those people who's somehow using it, trying to cheat the system, then it's really just going to come around to bite you in the butt, because then basically, let's say you're D5, all your roles are going to end up being essentially D5 and pushed up, so you won't have the benefit of getting auto-filled and playing at a slightly lower level. So the question isn't whether this system is a good idea. The question is how effective their tools will be to solve the problem of role swapping when being put in a lower elo game since you're auto-filled.
Since games where I'm not playing my main position have way less impact on the rank I care about, can't I just feed or surrender when I get autofilled to get a faster shot at playing my main again? This is pretty much the core concern that both we as a team and you as players have expressed to us over the entire year or whatever.
Very simple, guys. We've already talked about it a lot, and so have they. Splashing. If you get autofilled mid and you're a jungle main and you don't want to play, you're going to be losing a little bit of LP in all your other roles, including your main one, jungle. So it's not really a benefit to troll if you don't get your main role, which currently people actually do troll a lot, even though they do lose LP and there's no different role ranks. And the reason that is because if someone's a one trick and they get autofill, they feel very helpless. And in their mind, whether they realize it consciously, most likely subconsciously, they know that they're going to lose the game if they get autofilled. So with this new system, it should actually cut down on people who feed or AFK because they didn't get their main role.
Listen, like, if you're trying your hardest when you get an off position, we don't want to punish you for that. And so splashing does start fairly low. But what we do want to address is either systemic abuse of the system through people kind of just queuing up and doing that, right? Surrendering or feeding or whatever. We also want to combat situations where someone's been miscalibrated, like one of their ranks is higher than it actually should be, and they've started losing a lot of games.
Right.
And so as you lose more, and as your performance kind of gets worse over those games, the negative splashing starts to ramp up and hit you harder to your other positions that you maybe either care about more or that might be miscalibrated. From everyone on the team, thank you so much for your questions, feedback, and thoughts. Ranked is already way better because of your contributions over the last year. We'll be talking with you all over the course of the preview, so keep sharing your feedback. Good luck in your placements, and as always, we'll see you on the Rift.
Well guys, I don't know about you, but this is really exciting. I am super pumped to play the new rank system, especially since I'm on NA. I'll actually get to experience this since only NA and Korea get to basically test this out here in a couple of days. I'm super pumped. I think it's going to solve the autofill issue really well. I think it might be a little bit kinky and annoying at first if the splash is too high or too low and the tether isn't tight enough. But those are just things they're obviously going to hammer out, and this is going to solve the massive, disgusting issue of autofill, make the game better for 99% of League of Legends players, whether you're Iron 5 or Challenger. Those are my thoughts on the matter. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video and you want to support the channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out a lot, guys. My name is KingStix. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.